What's up, AmbiguiT viewers? It's Friday. Not really, it's actually Saturday. I wanted to apologize for having missed the past 2 weeks and being late today. I've just been like emotionally busy and physically busy, I guess. Right, so coming out to extended family, on my mom's side, I just have my grandma and my two uncles. They practically raised me, so we're really close. So it was a really hard one to do. I came out to my grandma first, and then afterwards I came out to all of them and like collectively again right after. One of my uncles, sorry, I don't know if you can hear it, it's my dog, someone's at my door. So that one was kind of hard because one of my uncles is very uneducated and sort of closed-minded as far as anything to do with the LGBTQ community. He didn't understand a lot of what I was saying and he just didn't get it. For my dad's family, I just came out in a video pretty much. And they saw that on Facebook. It was the same one that all my friends saw. Which was easier because they all live in LA, so they're kind of unreachable for me to just pop up there and be like, yo guys. I know my parents wanted me to do it in person, but I didn't have time, and it was sort of getting to the point where it was too far for me to not come out to everyone, and I just had to do it.
God damn!
I don't know where I was, because I had to go talk to some people who wanted me to read a brochure about the Bible. So, I guess advice for coming out to your extended family. Keep in mind that since it's family, their ages are going to vary. You got aunts, uncles, cousins, but it's pretty important, especially when you come out to your family. I feel like, because I did this with my family, I didn't do it with my friends, just because my friends are the same age. I don't have to sit and educate you on things that I'm pretty sure you already kind of grasp. I spent a lot of time explaining, educating, just sort of getting them knowledgeable about how I felt, terms for the things that I felt, and explaining, the thought process and the need, and how my life actually had a purpose at this point because I could be who I was. Yeah, so that's it for coming out to the extended family. Our next topic was discovering your gender identity and whether or not that changed your sexuality or creative fluidity. When I discovered the word for my gender identity and that there was an explanation for why I did not feel female, everything really clicked into place, actually. I don't remember exactly how I discovered it. It was probably just watching YouTube videos right after high school. And I don't remember who it was I watched, but I just watched all these guys and listened to the things that they were saying, and I realized that they were articulating these emotions that I had felt since I was a really, really little kid. And there was a word for it, there was definitions for it, and seeing that sort of aligned a lot of things in my life. Obviously, things just didn't click into place, and I was on the highway to awesome. But before understanding my gender, when I was attracted to women, I could never associate with the word lesbian, because that's a term that goes for women who like women, and I did not feel like a woman, so that term just wasn't a label for myself. And upon, realizing I'm a male, it just sort of clicked after that. It was like, okay, I'm straight. That's why I always see guys as just friends, and I could never understand why I could never use the word lesbian, and all of these things sort of made sense, and it did create fluidity for me. And I know that for some people it actually just sort of opens up your spectrum. But all of the guys that I've ever liked were just guys I really wanted to be, so it made everything make sense to me. And finally, last but common misconceptions. I can't even talk anymore. Like, I've been recording for like 10 minutes. Common misconceptions about being trans. God, there's so many. There's just so many. And I think it's just a lot from people being so uneducated. When people think that we're supposed to have known from our childhood about our gender, there are people who don't. There's obviously cases of people like myself who have known from small age. They were a young age. There are people who, like myself, knew that they didn't fit into the gender that they were forced to align to. However, they didn't have a word for it. There are people who, are still discovering their gender identity. There are people who didn't know until they were older. All of our journeys to becoming and discovering who we are, there's no set path. There's no you know, list of things that we have to do. It's different for every single one of us. Same with our transitions. There's no set way to transition. You can never start hormones. You can start hormones. You can go off of them for medical reasons or personal reasons. You cannot have surgery, have surgery. You can dress however you want. All of these things that you do and you change throughout your transition to make you more who you are do not change how valid your gender is. Upon you deciding what gender you are, how you feel, that validates your gender. So that's something that's a misconception, that you can't, like, if you don't do this, you're not real trans or whatever. You don't have to be pansexual or bi to date a trans person, because guess what? Trans people are their gender, regardless of whatever genitalia they have. Because guess what? I have a dick. Other misconceptions is that once you decide your gender, you have to pick it, and you gotta just stay that way. Like, you can keep coming out as many times as you want, as you discover yourself and as you change. There's nothing wrong with that. Common misconception that if you decide to not date a trans person specifically because they're trans, it's your opinion. That's a misconception, because that's just transphobia, and it's even worse because you think that's totally normal. You can't ask trans people about their genitalia just because they're trans, because would you walk up to any person you would assume was cis and say, hey, how about your penis? What about it? What's going on with it? Is it there? You wouldn't, because that's weird and rude. Random updates. I got a haircut. My gender therapist retired, so I had to get a new gender therapist, and I don't think she likes me. I think she thinks I'm a little shit boy. I will do a voice comparison video because I found some videos from me preety, and I've actually been kind of compiling the footage in my spare time. It's gonna happen because my voice has changed a lot. It's dropped a lot. I feel like I don't even know who that little baby is talking to me on the screen. But yeah, I will see you guys later. Shout out to Ty. You are awesome. And yeah.